The step I'm working on right now is to make the box of timber strand that boxes out this lower section with the wire. If you see, there's the panel, and up above I've got a box here so that I can access the wire, because I'm going to make a lid essentially that fits over the box with some foam behind it, more insulation, and there's insulation behind the wire. But by boxing it out here, I'm making a lid so I can pull that out and reach the wire. So I have to do the same thing down here. And as you can see, I've got these plates here that are attached to the underlying 2x4s, so I don't nail or screw into these cables, because there's just a rat's nest of wires that run through this wall. So what I need to do is relieve the back face of the timber strand so that it sits tight to this 2x4 and isn't thrown off by that plate. I don't know if you can see there, but the plate's got some thickness to it. It's probably 1/16 of an inch. It's certainly enough that it will cock them and make the wall much more uneven than it already is. So over here I have the vertical pieces for that box laid out, and I've got them marked. You can here, there, and here. I've got them marked where I need to relieve them to accommodate those plates. And to give myself a wider surface, I've lined them up. I've staggered the ends, but lined up the mark. So now I'm going to use a 1/4 inch up spiral bit in this handy little trim router, and I'm going to work this all out and relieve about probably 1/8 of an inch off of it. Give me enough clearance for that. And then I'll switch to this end, slide it down so that this mark is in line with this mark. I'll rattle that out, and then this one here I'll probably bring over, keep them next to each other, and just chew away a little bit of this edge, but that won't really matter. So that's where we stand now. I'm going to get the router set up and see what I can do to relieve these. Here we have the first of those recesses routed out. Fairly clean surface, certainly clean enough for what I need to do. A fair amount of tiny ridges, but that's based on the small 1/4 inch diameter of the upcut bit. It would have been nice to go with a bigger bit, but I didn't want to put too big a bit in what is essentially a small router. I will say though that with the 2 handles and the plunge base, even for such a tiny little trim router, you get a good base and nice control over it. I had no issues with wobble or play or anything like that. I just worked from this end into it and I was fine. I think I'll probably route this one out on the double rather than trying it on just single, and I'll chew into this one a little bit. Again, that won't matter. And then we'll move on to this.